Today we're visiting Derbyshire's Peak District. Shaped by people and nature over thousands of years, this is a region of dramatic, unspoilt geology, yet within easy reach of urban amenities.
Now, being so close to major cities like Manchester, Sheffield, Nottingham and of course Derby means that the Peak District National Park is actually the most accessible national park in the country, and perhaps it's also no great surprise that many of the visitors who come here and enjoy it as tourists eventually decide to take the plunge and make this their permanent home.
England's original national park, this landlocked landscape lies within the heart of the country and covers around 555 square miles. Waterways within the park include Ladybower Reservoir. Opened by King George VI in 1945, its construction meant 2 local villages were flooded. But the region still has many pretty stone-built settlements with their heads very much above water.
We moved here 29 years ago from London. Better environment for the kids to grow up, and with typical exchange your terrace house in London, and get this, it's just great, it's just superb, it's just terrific place, couldn't be better.
And our mission this week is to help a city couple make a radical lifestyle change, swapping life within the shadow of the Olympic Park in East London for one here amongst the rolling hills of the National Park in the Peak District.
Cuddle is a good girl.
This is Flora,
Hello,
our
Flora.
standard schnauzer.
She's a lovely girl. She's our best girl, aren't you?
It's not just 10-month-old puppy Flora who's going to benefit from the move. Tracy, a retired school bursar, is looking forward to having more room too.
I love spending time in the kitchen. I bake a lot of cakes, and I'm hoping by baking cakes I'll find some new friends and some new neighbours, and I can win them round with my cakes. I've even started baking dog biscuits since Flora's come into our life.
Oh, that's really nice.
30 years ago, Londoner Tracy met her Cheshire-born husband Tim, a retired head teacher and musician.
Whenever I play music at the moment, I have to play either very quietly or into my earphones so I don't disturb the neighbours either side. So I need a bigger room, I need a studio to be able to continue my creative work.
All 3 of them can't wait to switch the sound of bow bells for the tinkle of cowbells.
It's so beautiful in the Peak Districts. I mean, our ideal is to just open the front door and walk Flora for a lovely dog walk. There's so much beautiful countryside, just a totally different life to living in East London.
Trading in their 2-bed London terrace, they're now after a character stone property with a contemporary interior, at least 3 bedrooms, a music room, plus a garden suitable for puppy Flora and green-fingered Tracy. All this within reach of a community, and they've allocated £500,000 for their new home in the Peak District countryside.
I always think there's a rather Arthurian magic to the Peak District, these great outcrops. As for Tim and Tracy, no wonder they want to come here. Where they live around Stratford has seen some of the most impressive and widespread and expensive property development in recent years because, of course, the Olympics came there. But they're coming to one of the most popular parts of rural England, so it could make things a bit tricky. But that's why we're here, to do what we can to help them find the house of their future.
And what better way to kick things off than with a stroll amongst some splendid Peak District scenery.
Well, Tim, Tracy, it's lovely to meet you at last, having heard so much about you and your ambitions for this enormous move.
It's great to be here in this wonderful countryside.
You've obviously been thinking about this. What made you finally take the plunge?
We've both been lucky enough to take early retirement. We've travelled around the country, we've looked at some locations, and our heart is in Derbyshire.
Now, the Peak District has always been a popular haunt for house hunters. Never more so, perhaps, than this year, given the buoyancy of the market. If we find you the right property this week, how quickly could you finally make that move?
Well, we'd like to move this afternoon if that's convenient for you. Our house sold very, very quickly, so we're going to have to move fast, but we're ready.
It'll be a dream come true for us. We've stayed in some holiday cottages in Derbyshire, and we just don't want this to be a holiday anymore. We want to, this is the life we want to live. Yeah, definitely.
Great. Well, I'm very excited to be here. We've got an amazing week of weather ahead of us. Right. So, yeah, let's try and find you something that isn't a holiday, that's more longer term. Come on.
Thank you.
We're starting our journey in the hamlet of Tunstead Milton on the fringes of the National Park. Less than 2 miles away, the pretty town of Chapel-on-le-Frith, dubbed the capital of the Peak, provides all the basic necessities along with a choice of places to have a drink or a bite. It even caters for treasured four-legged friends. A 5-minute drive west of the town is this lovely whitewashed home.
Beautiful.
Very pretty
Really
on the outside.
pretty. Yeah, really nice.
It's actually the old pub.
Really?
Ah, right. Obviously, we have got a bit of the road here, but to be honest, you're set back on this little cut through here, and when you're inside, you honestly don't know that the road is there at all.
It looks lovely.
Come and have a look.
This double-fronted house dates back to 1732, and the owner tells me he spent no less than 3,000 hours on renovations.
Right. Come in. Well, it's nice and cool, isn't it? So let's start in there. Go on, Tracy.
Wow.
Wow.
This is lovely.
My music studio.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going to go, but yeah.
A bugle.
There you are.
There we are. It's made for me.
It's a scene setter, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's certainly got
definitely.
character, isn't it?
Is the owner a musician?
He absolutely is, yeah. You're in good company.
He's a guitarist.
Come and have a look too here.
Okay.
This, I think, is your main reception room.
It is a much bigger room, actually.
A bit brighter, but full of character, and there's so many nice touches.
It's got that feel of the old pub still, but it's a house. But you can still imagine, 200 years ago, the boys sitting down here after working in the quarries in there, or the old girls sitting in the other room. Yeah.
I tell you what, you're selling it to me.
I know.
You're selling it to me.
I hope this infectious enthusiasm carries through to the kitchen.
There we are.
Wow, another very nice room.
Yeah.
Perhaps a bit smaller than we had hoped for in terms of a kitchen, but they've made excellent use of the space that they have got.
But I think having the addition of the conservatory there and the light that comes through it, hopefully will compensate.
Yeah, I think if we looked through there, when we went through there, I think it would look a different picture than just what we're seeing in this corner here,
It's just so different. I think he'd want a couple of hours to look around and appreciate everything that's here.
Well, that's just what we're going to give you. Come on, come upstairs.
Also on the ground floor is a dining room, and then moving to the first floor, a central stairway leads to the sleeping quarters. Up here, there's a beautiful bathroom for the use of 3 bedrooms, with striking original features.
This is currently the master bedroom.
The stonework around the bedroom windows is quite special, isn't it? It's
And the
very
doorway.
nice. Yeah. Oh, yes.
I could see myself wandering around here for sure.
There is one final bit to consider, and that, of course, is the outdoor space and the garden.
Okay.
Lead on.
Let's go.
Back down those stairs. Fantastic.
The conservatory opens to a private garden, surrounded by greenery.
Look at this. What a day to be house hunting.
Yeah, but I've heard it's like this in Derbyshire every day.
So this is the garden that comes with this particular property. I guess the other thing to point out is that quite substantial stone outbuilding there. It's just been re-roofed. Whether or not that would accommodate any of your music studio ambitions, I don't know.
It's a little small, but it's got potential to be so.
Yeah. But in terms of flora and it being doggy-proofed, I think this is pretty secure.
Yeah. The size, it'd be perfect for Flora to have a bit of exercise, but I could do the garden myself.
Right then, shall we have a think about the cost?
Well, I hope the price will be £450,000.
I'm going to go for £480,000.
It's 1-0 to you, sir. This is on the market for £450,000.
Good. I was hoping as well as thinking.
Hugely under budget, this immaculately finished 18th century former pub has 3 reception rooms, 3 bedrooms, a dog-friendly garden and enjoys a village location.
When Jules told us that it was originally a pub, if I was honest, that kind of made me think, oh, do I want to live in an old pub? But when we came in, the attention to detail is just amazing.
The house is quite exquisite. It's an eclectic mix of really creative design and thought, so I'm tempted.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, Tim and Tracy might well choose to live within the tranquility of a village like Tunstead Milton, but just a 15-minute drive south is the historic spa town of Buxton.
Look at the colour on that one, that's beautiful, isn't it? Really lovely.
Known as the Bath of the North and the highest town in England, it could give them a sense of the buzz and culture they might miss from London, but within the heart of the Peak District.
Have you seen that one? That looks interesting.
The centre is awash with beautiful Georgian and Victorian architecture, and there are the splendid ornamental gardens. It's got great connectivity too, with direct trains to Manchester in under an hour.
I moved here with my husband 2 years ago. We moved up from London. It's a really buzzy town. There's cafes, there's bars, supermarkets, and there's lots of restaurants. There's a vibrant arts scene, but within 10 minutes walk you can be in the hills and the woods, so you can be surrounded by beautiful countryside and birds singing.
There's a great market twice a week with regular specialist markets and a fantastic selection of independent shops, including this rather tasty one, stocked with locally sourced produce.
Oh wow, look at that. All those cakes, just my cup of tea.
Don McCall is the owner here.
We've just walked around Buxton and found it to be a delightful place.
It is fabulous,
Found
yes.
magic little shops like this one.
We've been here probably 5 years now.
Right, and you found people have welcomed you?
Absolutely, yes.
Hidden
There's plenty
away.
goes on as well. We
Yeah.
have a fabulous festival, an opera festival, a jazz festival and a literary festival in the summers.
Is it a friendly place?
It really is a friendly place, yeah. There's a real mixture of people that live in Buxton. You get sort of professionals, you know, that have retired here, lots of teachers. It is fabulous, yeah.
And we've been looking here at this original Buxton pudding. Now, we've heard of Bakewell, but not Buxton.
It is a similar product. Buxton pudding's a more simple product. It was designed to use up leftovers, so raspberries and some. And when we first got the recipe for it, we made it and we followed it to the letter, and it was terrible. And so we changed the fat from suet to butter. We put more fruit in and kind of gave it a modern twist.
Well, you've sold it to me. Could we try some?
Absolutely.
Ah, the famous Buxton pudding.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
kind.
indeed. Oh, look at this thick cream. Well, this is very nice, isn't it?
Very nice, yeah.
These tasty puddings and all that this lovely town has to offer would be on hand for our next property too. It's 5 miles south of Buxton in the village of Flash, just inside Staffordshire, close to the Derbyshire border. Perched high within the Peak District National Park, it's over 1,500 feet above sea level.
I live in the highest cottage in Britain, in the Peak District, and as you can see, what a fabulous place to live. The scenery is just outstanding.
There are many highs here, and our next offering in the heart of the village is just one of them.
Now then, before we get to our next property, I thought we'd pause here. This is the village of Flash. Have you ever been here before? Do you know it?
I've walked through Flash on a walk, but that's probably 50 years ago.
Well, its biggest claim to fame, I suppose, is that it is apparently Britain's highest village. But there's also this. Have a look at that. As a retired head teacher, that might be quite interesting to you.
Oh, right.
John Bourne of Newcastle, Esquire, founded this school in 1760.
1760.
It is a fascinating piece of social history. It is also the back of the next property I'm going to show you. So we have got for you, sir, a genuine
schoolhouse.
Old schoolhouse.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Once 2 separate buildings, They're now joined to form our second property.
The other view, the other side of the coin.
What a wonderful view. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Gorgeous little schoolhouse.
Didn't expect this. No, not from what you showed us at the back, most definitely not.
So as you see there, the bulk of it is the old schoolhouse. The schoolhouse itself was then given over to add to the existing headmaster's house, which already stood to the left. So yeah, you get the full package, mate.
Wow. House and school together. Thank you very much.
And that area is beautiful.
Let's see what you think of it. Come on.
Okay.
Let's go.
We're starting our tour in what was the original schoolhouse.
Now this is probably a far cry from the kitchen which the original head teacher would have enjoyed back in the 18th century.
Indeed, and what a beautiful kitchen it is. This is just right. I can see myself in here.
Somewhere to eat.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
plenty of room.
This is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then through there you've got very, very generous utility area, downstairs shower as well.
Love it. Really, really lovely. Spectacular.
Right then, go and have a look in the old schoolroom.
It is a beautiful room.
Yeah, lovely.
Really beautiful
really, really
room.
nice.
You still get a sense of the history with the beams here, Tim.
Definitely, definitely.
These have heard many a lesson and probably many a telling off.
And times tables and all those things they used to do in Victorian days.
Yeah.
I feel at home.
Yeah.
I think I could definitely feel at home here.
Up on the first floor, there's a family bathroom next to 2 of the 3 bedrooms on this side of the house. The largest is just across the stairway.
Oh wow, what a nice room.
Yeah, and there's a lot of light coming in through that window.
Oh my goodness, imagine waking up to that.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful.
There's another bedroom above the utility room, reached by its own set of stairs. Featuring exposed beams and stone, it's perfectly out of the way. For a music room, perhaps.
Now, while Tim and Tracy explore the rest of this fabulous old schoolhouse, I'm going to share with you this really interesting bit of archive that the current owners dug up. It shows the then head teacher and his family in 1914. It's absolutely lovely. And I suspect that whoever buys this will also be given this image to go with it. Hello, mate.
Hi.
Have you seen it all, madam?
Certainly have. Yeah, I've seen it all and more.
And more. Well, there is a bit more to come, actually, because whilst we have got this lovely little courtyard garden here, there is not as yet any green space on offer.
No.
However, there is a little bit.
Okay.
Through the village. Come with me.
The final part of this property's jigsaw is just a hop, skip and a jump away.
So, this is the parking.
Right.
Okay, but it also is part of this allotment area which the current owners have, which would come with the property. As you can see, they've got some chickens on the go.
So this parking space and the allotment is all within the price that we're going to be estimating.
Absolutely, which is the perfect cue, Tim, for me to then ask your wife, Tracy, what you think.
I am going to say £485,000.
Well, I'm going hopefully for a cheaper price, so I'm going for a very hopeful 475.
It's currently on the market for £400,000.
Really? Wow. That is a surprise.
I am a very happy man.
Again, substantially below budget, this character-filled home comes with a kitchen diner and 4 bedrooms. In a pretty village setting, it's surrounded by views across the national park.
It's a delightfully done cottage, and it's exquisite in its finish, and it's ready to be lived in. So from that point of view, I was absolutely thrilled.
The house is beautiful, truly beautiful, and I mean what a privilege it would be to live somewhere that has got that kind of history to it. But for me to have no garden attached to the house, I think that will be a compromise that maybe I'll have to make. But you know, you've got the beautiful Peak District right on your doorstep. So, you know, Flora would have that as a benefit.
Well, while Tracy and Tim mull it over, and the rest of what they've seen today, I'm giving them a breather from property shopping. We've made our way to the village of Hope in the Hope Valley, where I've brought them to indulge in Tim's first love, music. We're joining Castleton Silver Band's band practice in this delightful spot. It was formed in the 1920s, and today there are around 50 members, aged from just 10 to over 70, all under the lead of music director John Whitfield.
Wow! See, Escapes of the Country. Certainly as I've never heard it before. I don't know about the rest of you. John, bless you. Very nice to see you. Let me introduce you to Tim and Tracy.
Tim and Tracy, hi.
John and the rest of the Castleton Silver Band.
The Silver Band, indeed.
Not to be confused with the brass band, John.
Oh, correct. We're very different.
What is the difference?
Sometime in the history, the Silver Band will win a prize, allows it to be silver. The other difference is if you take it to the scrapyard, you get more for the instruments.
For you, Tim, music is a huge part of your life, and we thought maybe this would be an entree into the music scene here in Derbyshire.
I started off like that young man over there, but that little start, young man, was the rest of my life. I play the keyboards now, but my heart always goes back to my youth and playing the cornet in the brass bands.
He likes the cornet. There's one there, especially for you.
Thank you.
Do you think you've still got it?
No. I haven't played the cornet for 30 years, but I will have a go.
Do you want to go and join the 12th Cornets over there?
I will.
Let's try the Hymn Lloyd, because that's a slow one.
The band would be a great way for Tim and Tracy to become part of their local community, whether playing like Tim or watching from the sidelines like me and Tracy.
Well, I don't know. That was good. I think that was pretty good, mate.
Excellent.
My lips are buzzing.
You must be very proud.
Very proud.
John, thank you for having us this evening. Thank you all for letting us interrupt your band practice. Do you think you've got a new member here? Would you have him?
Yes.
You're too kind. Brilliant.
What a delightful way to round off a busy day before we resume our tour tomorrow. If you are drawn to the rise and fall of the peaks and are planning to relocate to Derbyshire, here's a handy piece of intel for you. The average price of detached properties in the area is around £88,000 less than the national figure. So if that tempts you further, I'm meeting local estate agent Mark to get the lowdown on the property market here.
Now, of course, you know, one of the great attractions here is the national park, but properties within it do come traditionally at a premium. Are you seeing that premium rise?
Oh yeah, one of the great benefits of the Peak District National Park is that it's accessible to half the population of the country within about an hour. You know, it makes it an ideal place to have a second home. You can finish work on a Friday, get here, have a great weekend.
The flip side to that, of course, is maintaining a sense of affordability for the locals.
There are types of properties which are restricted to purchasers from the local area, such as ex-council houses, which often have very attractive village locations. We can sell those properties to buyers who have lived or worked in the local area for a minimum of 3 years.
Yeah. Are there any areas you might suggest that are worth a look? Any hidden gems?
Jules, you know, there are places just outside the Peak District National Park, you know, which are just as attractive. I can give you an example, which would be Carsington Village. It's a beautiful village, steeped in history, and as a crow flies, I think it's 1.5 miles from the Peak Park boundary.
Right, OK.
If you fancy setting up home here, there are so many wonderful villages and properties both within the national park and beyond. Those with deep pockets who have a cool £2 million to part with couldn't do better than this stunning Grade 2 listed 16-bedroom, 13-bathroom farmhouse in the village of Middleton by Yulgrave. The good news is it'll pay towards its keep, as it's currently run as a holiday let business alongside a family home. But if you're looking to rent, here's a unique proposition for you. This charming 3-bedroom end of terrace property in a converted church in the hamlet of Thornset is priced at £950 a month.
So what better way to kick off our second day of house hunting with Tim and Tracy than with a coffee and a chat? Lovely. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers now.
And Buxton's gorgeous gardens provide the perfect setting.
There we are. Two flat whites.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
I think there is a great advantage to towns like this when you can base yourself in them and potentially live in them without necessarily having to move to the middle of nowhere. Have you thought about life in a market town?
We thought more of being more rural. Yesterday, the ability to be in the village and then be here in less than 10 minutes. I think with places like Buxton on your doorstep, I certainly wouldn't be missing London.
You've got that escape to the country,
Yeah.
but 10 minutes later you could be back in a quite cosmopolitan little town, and it's you're having your flat whites, which is very metro, but enjoying it. I've been used to a sort of a country life, but Tracy has always lived in London, and so we've been very concerned that that transition from big city to a countryside is going to be smooth for her. And the fact that we've got a lovely market town like this, I think that's the way forward for us, that we can combine the two things together.
Fantastic. Well, we've given you two, I think, very interesting properties so far. There is one more yet to come, of course, and that is our mystery house. But I am very confident that one way or the other, in the next few months, you are going to be living your new lives here in the Peak District.
We have to, we've sold our house.
Exactly.
As recommended by estate agent Mark, our final property is on the southern fringes of the national park in the village of Carsington. Sitting in the Derbyshire Dales, it's within wonderful walking territory with a great pub where everyone can take a break to get fed and watered. The limestone village may be sleepy, but it's well connected with the M1 and Derby station, both around 15 miles away. In the midst of Carsington, next to the church and overlooking the village green, I've arrived in this beautiful cottage garden.
Take a look at that. I think it's a quintessential image of a classic country cottage. And what's more, this really is a property that they can truly put their own mark on. Well, as you can see, there's not an awful lot in our mystery house at the moment. Of late, it has been a rental property, but it does mean both Tim and Tracy will see exactly what they get for their money. I think this has got all sorts of potential, which I hope they can picture and realise.
Here they come. I can already hear murmurs of approval.
Lovely churchyard.
Ah, hello.
Hello.
Are you ready for this?
Most definitely.
Church house?
Not quite church
Garden house?
Garden
Well,
house.
beautiful house in beautiful village, as you now know, having wandered around.
It is a lovely,
It's
beautiful place.
amazing. Breathtaking.
And you're right next door to the church, so
And what could be nicer? Just can't wait to go in.
should we just stay here a bit longer?
No.
No.
Come on. There, Tracy, speak to me.
Wow.
Wow.
It's just beautiful.
Picture book.
Honeysuckle over the door.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Beautifully planted
Beautiful
garden.
stone house
Just what we
in
were
the
looking
most
for.
beautiful, peaceful village.
I don't think
It's
we
just
need
amazing.
going.
No, we do. We truly do.
Now, it has of late been used as a rental, so there's nothing in it.
Ah, right, okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see how you would envisage it. Should we go and have a look?
Please. I'm desperate.
Come on.
This delightful property's charm has seen it designated with a Grade 2 listing. Its exterior couldn't say English country cottage more, but Tim and Tracy will need some imagination to see our mystery house's potential inside.
Well, let's start in there.
Wow.
Oh my goodness me, what a lovely room.
Look at the fire as well, isn't that gorgeous?
It's amazing.
Beautiful log burner. It would be a very, very cosy living room, front rooms.
Well, you've got a choice.
whatever.
This is one of the tea reception rooms that are here.
We've only seen one room and I could just imagine living here.
You'd love it, wouldn't you?
I can't tell you, I'm so excited that you love it. Come and have a look at this one. This is, again, equally well proportioned. Second reception room, again with a lovely feature fireplace to focus on.
But it's just gorgeous.
Right then, let's have a look at the kitchen. Come this way. Not massive, but the nice thing about it is that it is its original size. It's not been shoved in as a later addition, and it has also a lovely original pantry.
Yeah, I love it. It's not a big kitchen that we were thinking about, but there is so many more pluses all around that I could live with a small kitchen.
I so want a garden, and the thought of just being able to have that door open, access to the garden, fresh air coming in.
And Flora would love that, wouldn't she? Just coming in and out and whizzing around the garden. She would absolutely adore it, wouldn't she?
So why don't you now take some time, go upstairs, explore it on your own.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The character continues on the first floor, where the central staircase leads to a beautifully bright dual aspect bedroom.
Oh my goodness, what a lovely room.
And have you seen the fireplace, the Victorian fireplace?
Really lovely.
Gorgeous. The views are fantastic, aren't they? Anywhere in the house you can get a glorious view of the village below, and what a beautiful village.
Oh, another lovely room.
Another nice size
good
room
size.
as well, isn't it, for a second bedroom? There's a little shower there. So this would be the guest room, yeah. Or we could have this one with the ensuite.
Or you could use the contemporary family bathroom up here. And how about the outside? Ideal for their beloved dog Flora.
I must confess, I'm not tiring either of looking at this garden. I know it needs a little bit of upkeep, but I rather like the wild, woolly nature of it.
It'd be a delight to have a garden like this. I couldn't believe that actually we could find something like this. And the house, it's more than we could have hoped for.
Okay.
Yeah, very keen.
Should we get down to the difficult bit?
I'm going for a fairly optimistic £495,000.
Okay.
I'm going to go for £475,000.
Okay. It's on the market currently for £500,000. Right. Currently all of your budget, but talking to the agent, I think there is a conversation to be had if it is of interest to you.
Okay.
It's of interest to us.
Yeah, it's very much of interest to us, yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
We'd like to have that conversation.
Yeah.
This Grade 2 listed home has come in right on the nose of the budget, with its many original features, 3 bedrooms and well-established garden, all set in the heart of a village.
When we drove into the village, it was stunning. And then we approached the church and walked up the path to the church, and there at the side was this beautiful, beautiful building, which we couldn't believe our eyes. It's just everything we wanted in a beautiful package.
It just seemed too good to be true. I'm just walking around the house. It's just too much, really. I just love it, and I think I just love making it into a home for, you know, for Tim and I and Flora. It's just beautiful.
Wow. There we are.
There we are.
Sounds like we've sold it.
I think so.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Depending on the conversation.
Yeah.
Well, that's yet to come, of course, but our house tours are now over, but I'm very happy with what we've shown you thus far, so time to think and plan.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Come on,
Lots
let's
to
go.
think about.
With 90% of the land classed as agricultural, the Peak District is home to some 1,800 farms. But they're not all farming as we know it. I've come to the beautiful Oldport Mill on the Haddon Estate next to the River Wye to meet Sammy Holmes and John Ward. They took their love of food to the next level when they made their own escapes from former careers in nursing and engineering to establish a new one together in the world of fungi.
Hello, Sammy. Hey, John, nice to see you.
Hello.
Wow, what an idyllic spot. This is glorious, isn't it? Now, guys, Derbyshire is famous for a great many things, of course, but mushrooms are a new one on me. What got you both into the mushroom game, Sammy?
We just saw a programme on TV about growing mushrooms in coffee and we just thought that's a good idea, let's give it a go.
And I suppose the attraction there, John, is that you don't need acres of fields, do you?
No, that's right. They're grown in a hydroponic tent, so you can start up with quite a small unit, and once you gather your skills, you can double that up to 2 tents, and you can just expand and expand as your skills grow.
And in terms of the science behind it, has it required a bit of a learning curve?
It is quite a unique organism. It does start off with a laboratory process. It starts off in a test tube, then multiplies up to a petri dish, then into a small jar, then into a bag, then into a bigger bag.
I mean, was this a leap of faith when you decided to transform your lives and become, well, farmers, I suppose?
I did think it was quite crazy.
It was the local food issue, wasn't it, that we wanted to get involved in.
And the chefs love the fact that it's all locally grown, locally sourced.
But you're not growing your average button mushrooms, are you?
We're growing oyster mushrooms.
They're very pretty.
Sammy and John took courses in how to successfully cultivate mushrooms. Theirs are grown inside these old mill buildings. Now, I've only ever seen oyster mushrooms on my plate, so I've got absolutely no idea what to expect.
So this is the mushroom mycelium. It's sort of the spores, the seed that we grow the mushroom from. This is where the process starts. This is what we call incubation room.
So what's in the bags?
It's mainly wheat straw, spent beer grains, and used coffee grounds.
Are you effectively recreating a woodland environment in that bag?
It replicates a tree, so that in the wild, the oyster mushrooms would grow out of a tree trunk. So we use these to replicate a tree trunk.
Clever. So how long does it take for the mushrooms to appear?
6 weeks maybe, from beginning to end.
So you get to crop every 6 to 8 weeks?
We crop daily.
It's a continuous process. It's a climate-controlled environment inside the tent, so what we're trying to recreate is autumn, a continuous autumn over 12 months.
There's an endless supply of beautiful mushrooms here. Sammy and John pick around 2 kilos every day.
I honestly don't know what to say. Here's another planet. It's planet mushroom, isn't it?
Yeah. Get your hands either side of it and then just twist and pull. And then pull. That's it. Brilliant.
Oh my goodness me. That is absolutely beautiful, and you can see the structure, can't you?
Yeah.
They smell amazing.
Yeah, they smell good, don't they?
Can't wait to taste them. How about some pinks? Are they ready?
Yeah, they're ready. So you just twist and pull again.
Look at that.
The beginning of summer when we get the pinks in.
Amazing.
And after being teased with their earthy smell, it's almost time to tuck in.
Just need to chop the very end of the stalk off.
My carefully picked mushrooms are cooked in rapeseed oil. And voila, as the chefs say.
That is the sound I know and love.
Yeah.
Mushrooms gently cooking.
And what better spot to savour them?
So, John, while you've been sitting around...
enjoying the view.
And why wouldn't you?
Get stuck in.
Oh, they're so meaty, aren't they, when you look at them?
A little sprinkling of mushroom salt.
So here we go. The texture is amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. But it's so inspiring, I think, to find a couple like yourselves who, like so many other people, I think, at the moment, are considering, what do I want my future to look like? And here you are, you've done it. You are literally growing your own future. Brilliant.
Living the dream.
Living the dream. There you go. Let's eat to that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, of course, we always love to give our buyers plenty to consider during these house hunting weeks, but something tells me over the last few hours, both Tim and Tracy have done more than just think about all that we have shown them. Apparently, they've been quite busy. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
That's all looking a bit conspiratorial over here, isn't it? Well, I'm very happy with the properties that we have shown you this week, because you were clearly very taken with our schoolhouse, though, yesterday afternoon, Tim.
Yes, I was. I would have happily have moved in there that afternoon. It was just what I wanted. But I'm not a gardener, and Tracy is. And what she really wants is that cottage, but with a lovely garden.
But then, of course, we tried to rectify that situation, Tracy, by bringing you to our final property of the week, our mystery house. We left there about, what, 3 hours ago. Come on, what have you been up to?
Well, we had a discussion, and we decided that we liked the property so much we would like to try and get in there and make an offer. So we spoke to the agent, and finally, after some discussion, we made an offer to take to his vendor.
So at any moment now, the phone may ring,
it may.
Fingers crossed, and we'll know how the story ends. But what would it mean for you, Tracy? How big a deal would it be?
We are just so sure this is the right place for us.
Well, I really hope that the phone does ring in the next few hours, who knows? But fingers crossed you will be here in the region in the next few months, and we'd love to come back and see how you get on and discover what you've made of it.
Well, you'd be very welcome, and I'd just like to say how grateful we are. We've really appreciated all that you've done for us over these last few days, and it would just be the icing on the cake if that call came. So thank you.
Wouldn't it just? Well, I am delighted to tell you that just a little while ago I had a call from Tim and Tracy to tell me that finally their phone rang, it was the agent, and they have had their offer on our lovely mystery house accepted. Needless to say, they are over the moon and looking forward to starting this brand new chapter in their lives here in the landscape you see behind me. I could not be happier, and I'm sure we'll be catching up with them at some point in the future to see how country life is treating them. I'll see you next time.
If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and need our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/take part.